9.3 is about geometric sequences. And again, we talked about arithmetic sequences yesterday. Geometric sequences, the difference being explicit definition for the sequence of in a single formula, a sub n equals a1 times r to the n minus 1. Again, r being the common ratio. So yesterday, everything had to have a common difference. Today, everything's got to have a common ratio. Now, in example 1, they're asking, is the sequence geometric? If so, what are a1 and the r? So again, what I'm going to look at is what is the ratio between these two. Now, instead of subtracting, see if they're divisible by. So what am I going to talk about? Well, 6 divided by 3, does that equal 12 divided by 6? Does that equal 24 divided by 12? Does that equal 48 divided by 24? Do all those equal each other? And the answer is yes. They're all going to reduce to 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 24 divided by 12 is 2. So on and so forth. So 2 is my common ratio. So my r is 2. My first term then would be 3. What about B? Does 6 divided by 3 equal 9 divided by 6? Does that equal 12 divided by 9? So on and so forth. You're looking to see if they're equal. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Well, 9 divided by 6 is definitely not 2, so they're not equal, so not geometric. What about this one? And they try to throw exponents at you just to mess with you a little bit, but it's the same concept. 3 to the 10th divided by 3 to the 5th. Does that equal 3 to the 15th divided by 3 to the 10th? Does that equal 3 to the 20th divided by 3 to the 15th? Again, power over power, subtract your powers. So that's going to be 3 to the 5th, that's going to be 3 to the 5th, that's going to be 3 to the 5th. Okay, so my A1 here, in this particular problem, would be 3 to the 5th. And my ratio as well is 3 to the 5th. Example 2, let's use that formula, a sub n equals a1 times r to the n minus 1. We're going to use that formula to find it. The 10th term, so we're going to find a sub 10 of the geometric sequence, 4, 12, 36. So what's my a1? My a1 is 4. What's my r? Well, let's start dividing. They tell me it's a geometric sequence, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now, you could keep going and find out what the other thing is, but it's going to be 3 no matter what. Times 3 to the n, well, n is 10 minus 1. So we end up with 4 times 3 to the 9th, and that's going to end up being, no, not 10,000, sorry, 78,732. How about example 2? They give me the second and third terms. That's what you're looking for. They give you the first term, they give you the fourth term. So in other words, a sub 4, which is negative 54, is going to equal my first term, which is 2, times r, which we don't know. And again, we know 54 is the fourth term, equal 4 minus 1. So let's solve for r. Negative 54 equals 2r cubed. How do I solve? Well, I'm going to divide by 2. That gives me r cubed equals negative 27. How do I solve this now? Again, you take the cube root of it. R equals negative 3. So that's what my r is going to be. So now, what do I do to find the second and third terms? You could plug it in there, but all I really need to do is take negative 3 and multiply it here. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. It makes it easier rather than trying to plug it back into the equation. Now, geometric mean is a little bit different than arithmetic mean. Now, we've done geometric mean before, especially in geometry. Those of you that had me last year, it says, what are the possible values of the missing term of the geometric sequence? Really, what you're finding is the geometric mean. What you do is you just take the square root of 48 times 3. Multiply the two together. That will give you something. Then you take the square root of it. So that's going to give me the square root of 144. Square root of 144 is 12. Now again, what's going to be the answer? Could it be 12? Sure. But it also, remember, when we take the square root, it could really be plus or minus 12 because you don't know. If it's negative 12, obviously your r is negative, so that can get you the positive 3, but it also could get you positive 3 if your r is positive as opposed to negative. So my answer here is plus or minus 12.